Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to After the Credits number 87. I'm joined by the one, the only, the fabulous, the amazing from Miami, Florida, Mr. Taz. How's it going, Taz?
How's it going? Greetings from Dexter's boats. No, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm
Good.
doing
It's
good.
been it's been quite the week, hasn't it?
It has. It has. It's been a. What a way to describe this week. I'd say long is a good way to
A
describe
roller
it.
co- a roller coaster of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's been you know what I'll say, it's been fun and I'm looking forward to this episode
Yeah,
because it's
me
the
too.
first episode in a while where there's been like I guess really multiple consistent shows starting.
Yeah.
The last 3 months it feels like it's been I guess when did Doctor Who and stuff end? we
Oh,
we
that was like
did
a month and a half ago or something.
we had what was on during like early summer. We did was it Last of Us?
Last of Us,
Last of Us,
Daredevil. Well, Daredevil was
Daredevil.
like April into like early June.
Yeah, I think since like Daredevil, I think Last of Us was the last
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
ongoing
Oh,
show before
Ironheart.
Dexter. Yes, yes, but then even then, like I think the summer's been
Well, because it
filled
was
with
only two
like
weeks.
there was 2 weeks for that. There was 1 week for Eyes of Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday kind of did a 1 week thing, and we'll talk about that in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, and then we had
But
obviously Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, like the big
yeah,
summer blockbusters came out. And now we're kind
sure,
of at the tail end. We've got, Peacemaker season 2 premiered. Dexter is almost over,
couple
which
weeks
is
out.
just
Yeah,
we're coming up to the end here pretty soon, and we're going to be heading into the fall months, and there's a lot coming our way this fall too.
There, there is. Yeah, I'm in another like August was the everyone can breathe month. I felt like it was like okay,
Yeah.
it's I get to kind of do whatever I want, and now we have like Only Murders in the Building coming out in a couple weeks. Gen V comes out in a couple
Mm.
weeks. Wednesday Part 2 comes out in a couple weeks. A couple more months. We have Stranger Things, which
All the
I
things that I
haven't
am not
even.
caught up on, but
I
we'll make it work. We will make it work. Dude,
I
I'm so far behind. I'm so far behind. Like I'm still working on my Dexter episode 6 video. Is
mhm,
that correct? My episode 6? I think the last one I
this is
uploaded was episode 5.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, episode 6
Yeah.
video. It's in the editing software.
Mhm.
The screenshots have been screenshotted. I just haven't had time to even
Hello,
think
Jay.
about
What's
it.
going on, buddy?
So we've got one episode in the editing bay, one episode
Mhm.
that needs to be put together, and one that just aired. And we're coming up on the last 2 episodes of the season. So we're gonna power through it. We're gonna power
Yeah.
through it.
It's just October and you're still uploading them.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Like I mentioned this last week, but I have to just be content with that. Like, okay, I'm
Mm.
busy, but they'll be out eventually. So when in 5 years from now, when people like us go to find these shows, when they're like, oh, I want to get into watching Dexter now, then they'll be up and they won't care that my episode 6 video came out after episode 8 came out, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no. I will say, like, this is the kind the this might be one of my saddest times of year. I'll say it because I always like grieve the end of summer. I will say that.
Summertime sadness?
That yes, that like bridging month in between, like because I
Yeah.
do enjoy fall. I really enjoy the aesthetic of fall, but there is like August and September, I guess, are always the depressing months. I'd say where it's like
Well, I mean, yeah, like back in the day when you were younger, this is when you got to think about going back to
association
school.
with back to
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It just like so it's like how people say like Sunday, you're excited for the day, and then like
mm-hmm.
4 o'clock rolls around, and you're like, oh shoot, tomorrow's Monday. I need to get to
Or
bed.
Monday.
And
Yeah.
that's basically how August is. It's like, all right, summer, summer, summer,
Mm,
and then you're about halfway through the month, and you're like, oh yeah, summer's
yeah.
over, isn't it? And I got to get back to the regularly scheduled program.
Yeah.
But you know, we do have some
Yeah.
fun stuff coming in the fall.
We have some fun
I
stuff.
I will say maybe it's a hot take, but I think fall is the best season. So
Mm. I've always been like I've always been a summer boy, but
okay,
I think
Well,
but also December.
I'm a little bit biased for the fall because
Birthday month.
my birthday is in November, so I'm,
Okay.
a little bit biased towards that. And I like the weather. I like the
Mm,
crisp,
jacket
like,
weather.
you can,
Yeah.
exactly. You can throw on a jacket, but you don't necessarily have to either, It's not so brutally blazing hot, but it's also not like frigid winter cold.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm the other way around though, where it's like, I'm a June birthday, so it's
Okay.
like I have the
Okay.
association for that. I have the association. Like I remember, it only happened once, but like once, the last day of school was my birthday,
Oh,
so
that's cool.
it was like there's a freaking helicopter outside. Please forgive me, but like I think
Is that Prater's helicopter?
it could be. It could be. But I do have. I feel like I have to talk louder. I feel like no. I feel like that association's there. You also have the warm weather, you have Pride Month, so it's like it is a month that I love that summertime. The fall has some fun stuff. We have some fun stuff ahead. Let's jump into some comments and then we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah,
we're gonna start some conversations because we have a lot in store today.
Yeah, we do. We do. We've got a lot to get through.
What we're going to talk about today, we're going to be talking about Dexter, Original Sin. We are going to be talking about, might sound weird if you don't know what's happening, but we are talking about that. We're talking about Aliener for a little bit. We're talking about Peacemaker a little bit. We're talking about Dexter Resurrections a little bit. Television is back, and we have some stuff to talk about. Jay's in the chat. What is up, Jay? Hope you're doing well.
Hello, hello.
Darren Taz, hello. It's almost my birthday month, September time.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
But hey, do you remember the 21st night of September?
Good question. Good question. we have a comment here. Said original.
Probably original sin. Original sin Dexter.
Original
Maybe.
Sent Dexter. Original was. I'm assuming it's Dexter Original Sin. Was horrible.
Yeah, I think there's one more original than there needs to be.
Yeah. I think it was hardly written. K1 counter out possible to die is supposed to die in 1993. Why is he alive? Am I missing something? What's K1 counter?
I don't know. I think this might be in reference to Harry, potentially. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
But I guess let's use that as a jumping off point,
yes.
Right? So if you didn't hear the news, Original Sin got unrenewed, aka canceled, I guess. Yeah. So and it's really weird, right? So we had this announced a few months ago that Original Sin was renewed for a second season. I'm pretty sure we heard the cast was going back to work. A lot of the actors were posting about, going back, doing table reads, whatever. A lot of the cast members were showing up in these Resurrection after shows that the Dexter YouTube channel had been posting, and it seemed like we were going in a good direction. However, Comic-Con rolled around. There was no Original Sin news, which seemed a little weird, but also, okay, they want to shift all the focus onto Resurrection. They don't want to worry about promoting Original Sin Season 2 just yet. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a teaser after Resurrection is over. But after a couple months of not hearing anything, now we get the news that Original Sin has just been up and canceled. And this came out, I didn't really believe it at first, and then some of the big trades started picking it up and posting about it. And basically what it sounds like is it's a product of the studio merger that's been going on behind the scenes with Paramount. And where have we heard this story before? That is the CW and Nexstar and all of the nonsense that came along with that. Everything that's happened with WB in the past, with, scrapping movies and projects as well. So yet again, the big studio mandate has gotten in the way of our fun, I guess is the best way to put it. Obviously, I was very upset when I heard this news. I was like, I was in denial for a lack of a better term. I was like, no, this can't be true. Like they said that this was coming back. How they can't they just can't rug pull us like that. And I think the biggest thing is I feel so bad for this cast that
the actors,
like they had the perfect young cast. They had already started incorporating Original Sin into Resurrection. We had flashbacks, we've had references. We even got a little bit more of a reference this week in this week's episode as well. So like they're canon, they're connected. and it felt like they were actually trying to build this Dexter verse, this Dexter universe. Original Sin with our as our prequel, the possibility of that Trinity series, which I'm guessing is probably not happening anymore now
Yeah.
either. And then there was one. We're just now down to Resurrection, which behind the scenes has been rumored to have already been renewed for seasons 2 and 3. But again, who knows what's going on that front anymore?
Mhm.
Here's my theory as to what ended up happening. I think once this merger went through, the Dexter creators were given an ultimatum, right? It's like, hey, we don't have enough money to either
Yeah.
we never number one either don't have enough money to make both of these shows, or what I think is probably more likely is we don't have enough money to make both of these shows in the way that you would like. So you're either going to have to sacrifice quality on both, or you can put
Mhm.
all of your focus into one
Into
show. And I
Resurrection.
think
Yeah.
that based off of number one, the audience and fan reception for Resurrection, as well as the mixed reception for Original Sin, wherein I know you and I loved Original Sin. There's a
Yeah.
big, a big section of the fan base and the community that really did love Original Sin as well. My mom liked the show a lot. A lot of people, in the community loved Original Sin. I think again the cast is great. You could not have picked a more perfect kind of, you know, way to bring these characters to life than with the cast that you did. They fit so perfectly into those roles. Honor the actors that portrayed them in the original series and add new meaning and expression to them. However, again, with Resurrection being as popular as it is, with them having 2, 3, 4, 5 season plans for it, I don't think the budget is there in the new vision for Paramount, unfortunately. So they had to make the tough call, and that is to cut the weakest link, so to speak. So Resurrection is the only one that is continuing. Original Sin is out, and I think the best way to still honor that story, honor
Mhm.
that cast, is incorporate it into future seasons of Resurrection. And I talked to people online about this. I posted about it on Twitter and everything like that. I was like, hey, this is my idea for how
Mhm.
they make this right. Is we've already gotten some flashbacks and some references in Resurrection season 1. Why don't they go all in and either tell a flashback storyline, underneath season 2 of Resurrection,
I thought
and
about
tie
that as
it into the main
well.
plot, or at least still use those characters and those actors and have some flashbacks to certain things that'll tie into other elements of the show. I think that is the best way
Yeah.
to keep Original Sin alive without having the show be a thing. So
Make
you're
it
still focusing on progressing the Dexter
it's
timeline.
Arrow style. It's like a
Right,
lot. Yeah.
exactly. That is exactly how I would see it. It's like, okay, something happens, crazy theory, Jonah comes back and he's the New York Ripper, right? So Harrison needs to investigate, okay, who's the Trinity killer? Who's this guy's father? And then maybe that's where you get the elements of the Trinity prequel series and everything like
Yeah.
that. And then
Mhm.
you get some flashbacks to, maybe more Dexter and Harry interactions and things like that. So there are ways to incorporate Original Sin into the continuing Dexter story,
Yeah.
but it just seems like, from the outside looking in, it seems like a bad faith push. But it just like it obviously it comes down to studio interference,
Yeah.
right? And that is the only party that you can blame is Paramount execs and the merger.
It's more studio interference. It's more stuff that I am so sick of. I
Yeah.
like when this stuff started to come out, I instantly got, as silly as it sounds, like CW PTSD, and like the sadness that we dealt with. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just CW. Freeform went the same way. ABC went through the same exact thing. It's so crazy to me that Resurrection blew up in the way that it did. You would think after Resurrection, they would be like, oh crap, we need to preserve this franchise even more. You know what I mean? Like, you would
Yes.
think, oh, all right, so let's put even more budget into Originals then. Let's give them an extra life. Let's push that forward. And we've talked about this previously. Like, this is what all the big IPs are doing right now. In a world where it takes so long to develop television, you have 2 shows going on, and then every year you can have one of them. You have that
Yeah,
with
you can
The
alternate.
Boys and Bridgerton and Seems Like Wednesday and Marvel and DC. They're all doing that. So like once a year, you can have one Dexter show. So like this year was obvious, I guess both this year, but like you could say
Yeah.
this year was Resurrections, next year could be Original Sins, and like I think that alternates it, and and that's also how you keep Resurrections on for a longer point of time. Because I don't see Resurrections as a 10 season or like an 8 or 9 season show. I see it as like maybe a 4 or 5 season show. That's how you could run this for the next 10 years if you want to, and by alternating that. But it is like I agree with you. I went through the like a 2-hour grieving period.
Yeah, I think all the stages of grief
It's
in
like kind
a
of all at
day.
once. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and then I saw more, Original Sin edits and stuff popping up, and I'm like, come on, man, like why? And we're to add insult to injury. So I just finished the new episode of Resurrection before we went live, right? Guess what popped up as my ad when I finished the episode? Hey,
same.
what to watch next? Dexter, a Dexter Original Sin. I'm like, okay.
And there's
Cool.
even a
Thanks,
huge Easter
Paramount.
egg within the episode.
There is.
I was like, you son of a bitch. How, like, you had to come out this week. And, like, like we've been saying all season, but, like, or Resurrection and Original Sin feels like they're kind of one pea in a pod. Like, it feels like,
Yeah, and, like, here's the thing. Why announce this now when we're hitting our peak, too? Yeah. Like, what a buzzkill, right? Like, what a way to kill the momentum. Is like, oh, we're riding this high of like Resurrection is great. Yeah. Original Sin is, Original Sin season 2 is right around the corner. We know we're getting, Resurrection season 2, the possibility of the Trinity series. And it's like, nah.
Yep.
But again, here's the silver lining, right? Is Resurrection seems like it is here to stay, right? Is it has gotten such positive fan and critic reception alike. It is the highest rated Paramount show, I think, right now. Like the highest rated streaming series, the highest rated, new series in a while for them. So they're going to capitalize on this while they can. But unfortunately for Original Sin, that means that they didn't make the cut, so to speak. Like it didn't do well enough. And I think that now Resurrection has unfortunately kind of set a very high bar. That now if there isn't a show of that quality, it is not going to get the time of day, which is why I think, unfortunately, that Trinity series is just going to kind of fade into obscurity. Because it was never officially announced. It was said that it was being worked on, that scripts were being written, but there was nothing said about casting or when it was filming or how many episodes it might be. Like, it was just like a concept. But now I think that concept will unfortunately be just left on the cutting room floor indefinitely.
Yeah, no. I mean, Short Car asks here, with the cancellation of Original Sin, how likely do you think is we get the Trinity show? I think it's dead, which is so weird when you have an actor as big as that one saying, yeah, I'm down. I want to do it. Sounds great. You had scripts done.
You literally had him come back. You had him come back for Resurrection even, so there's slight precedent there.
Honestly, if there's anyone more from the series more iconic than Dexter himself, it is Trinity, which is
I think as much as I love Brian, Trinity is the more recognizable, more iconic villain because that is, I think season 4 is universally, for the most part, a lot of people's favorite season.
Yeah.
So
it's strange, and I think when this come out, was it Friday? What did it come out? Friday? Did it come out?
Yeah, Friday morning.
Yeah, and I came on kind of the burning, being like, how could they? I was planning on making a huge TikTok being like, curse you, Paramount, and stuff like that. And I still feel that way, but ultimately, I think these kind of things, it's like there is nothing that can ultimately be done with rage and out,
No.
And I like to think that if we campaign enough, maybe we could, get it back. But
hey, it's stranger things have happened, right? I mean, Daredevil came back.
Yeah.
So, sign the petitions, tell Paramount we want the show back. I know people are talking about maybe them shopping it around to other networks, but they're not
Yeah,
going to split up the
they're
Dexter
not.
universe.
I
If it's
don't
not going to air on Paramount, then I don't think it's going to
I don't
happen.
think Paramount would let the IP go to
I
someone else.
think maybe the only thing that they can do, a couple things that they could do, right? So I know it's not really comic book stuff, but they could do a comic. I think that'd be kind of fun and continue the story. They could
Sure,
do an actual novel or graphic novel because the show
sure,
spawned from a book series.
that's true.
Or they could maybe even do a straight to streaming movie, right? Maybe Paramount does like a special presentation kind of thing. I know not the same thing, but they brought back shows like, Thundermans and, Henry Danger and stuff like that and gave them
Yeah,
movies, and then that spawned new series and stuff like that. So maybe that's a way. But I think the more likely option is they just incorporate whatever they
yeah,
might have tried to do for
into
Original
the
Sin
main
Season
show.
2
Yeah,
into Resurrection. But the only caveat to that
yeah,
is then does that derail the Resurrection plot lines and the Resurrection storylines that they were trying to tell by trying to then
yeah,
tell two shows worth of story in one? Because we know what happens there, which is what happened on the final season of The Flash. You were not only trying to wrap up The Flash, but you were trying to wrap up Batwoman. You were trying to wrap up some Arrow loose ends. You were trying to
yeah,
wrap up, anything that was not wrapped up in the Arrowverse proper. So it it's a really tough spot. And again, I think ultimately I just feel bad for the
yeah.
actors. So
I think if this was the OG show, we would have a shot at something like this, right? Like if this was like Resurrection, not coming back for season 2, I think then campaigning would work. I think then maybe a comic or whatever. But I think with this being kind of like the middle child of the Dexter universe, I
mhm.
think I've already seeing people move on. I
Yeah.
like it's not
Well, I
like
mean,
Lucifer ended where it's like everyone involved was like, "Yo, what the hell?" Like you have got it's
yeah.
like most
I mean,
people are
people
like,
even from the beginning were like, "Oh, this is unnecessary. Like, why
yeah,
are we telling a story? Like, we don't need this story." And to an
yeah,
extent, I get that position, but also like let other people have their fun, right? If you enjoyed the show, why wouldn't you want more of it?
yeah. No, it's tough. It's sad, but I do like, if you came down to me and you sat me down, you're like, okay, Resurrections or Original Sin.
Yep.
And I do think I would have to say Resurrections just because
Yeah,
it
I
is
don't.
the
Yeah,
main
that
show. You know what I
you
mean?
couldn't
Like
choose anything else. Yeah,
it's like yeah, but
it's
again, it does.
tough.
But then there's like that part of my brain that's like, well, this cast got 1 season. Michael C. Hall got 11, like 10 seasons, and part of me
And
is like,
technically,
well,
just because, and also too, your gears can start turning is just because it's Original Sin. Michael C. Hall will still be there as the inner voice of Dexter.
sure,
So,
yeah,
you
no,
know,
it's interesting, and especially like and we'll wrap this up here soon because I know
yeah.
we gotta move on, but like I started this because, and this comes with the grooming process a little bit, because like I was promised a universe almost, and I know nothing's
Yeah.
promised like in the
Well, I think maybe we
like,
hyped that up a little too much. I think we might have coined the Dexterverse term a
sure,
little too early
but
as
like
a fan base.
besides that, like I jumped into it because I was craving that Arrowverse fun, and I learned that there was going to be Original Sin, Resurrection, and possibly another show. And again, none of
Yeah.
that's guaranteed. We do not we don't like we're not owed that obviously, but like
Well, I
there is
mean,
still that like
it's a
there's
miracle that we got Resurrection, right?
yeah no
I
no
mean, this
100%
this is a
yeah
show that ended twice. This is like
yeah
it ended on a bad note, was gone for like a decade,
yeah
came back, ended on a bad note, was gone for another like 3, 4, 5 years, came back,
yeah
and it has been given so many chances, more chances than most shows
any
are
show
given.
I've seen
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, Harrison made the reference a couple weeks ago, like that Dexter is like
mhm,
a horror movie villain. The Dexter series is a horror movie villain. It never stays dead. So, never say never about the show coming back or the cast coming back or the
yeah
characters coming back in one way, shape, or form. But for now, F's in chat for Original Sin.
yes.
You will be missed.
Let's go through a couple of your comments and then we'll move on to our first show. Uh, with this time of year because it was the end of summer, but I was also excited because of all my favorite Arrowverse shows coming back. That is true. I do miss the era when like fall meant Arrow and Flash and Legends and Supergirl.
Dude, the anticipation this time last year for like Superman and Lois.
I know this is the first fall without Superman and Lois proper, or like a CW DC TV show. But maybe Peacemaker will kind of amend
technically,
that.
yeah. Like, technically, Peacemaker is that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Naruto says Prime Video is getting sued for misleading customers to believe that they actually own what they buy on Amazon Prime. Did you see this?
No, but also I think as consumers, it should be very obvious that we don't own any of our digital media. I know that got a little deep right there. But think about it from a perspective of a game. Like, there have been multiple games in the last few years that they've just completely shut the servers down. Like, what was it? Anthem, Concord, things that just, again, they come out, they aren't really well received. The developers shut it down. X-Defiant is another one that, you can spend all this money in a game, you can buy a game, it could be a free-to-play game that you spend money on loot boxes and skins and stuff, and the moment that the developers say, okay, we're done, it's not profitable anymore, we're going to flip the switch, turn it off, and you don't get to keep any of that. So I think the same rule applies for digital media, meaning movies, music, apps, anything like that. Yeah. If you do not have a hard copy of it, like I have an old PS2 game, it will always go into my PS2 and work as long as the disc is intact and as long as that PS2 works. But say my digital copy of The Last of Us that I bought on my PS5 to play, I'll lose access to that whenever PlayStation decides to take the PS5 store servers offline in 50 years, So it's unfortunate, but that's just the way that digital products work, and that's why I'm such a big fan of preserving physical media as well.
Agreed. As a major Dexter fan, I honestly wasn't a big fan of Original Sin, but I feel bad for the cast and crew and fans of the show. I've been watching all the TikToks from the young Masuka actor, and he's been going through it, posting all his behind-the-scenes photo. And I was such a huge fan of his account because he was just a fan of the show. Yeah, he was always posting fun stuff about the show and memes about the show. It's like, oh, he's a real one. We should get him on the show.
That'd be fun. Get him for the show. You know what? Awesome. I out of all of the actors, I feel like he'd be the most likely to do something like this. He just seems like a genuine, like just a fan. Yeah. All right, start reaching out. Chat, you know what to do.
Interview time. No, we go. Darren, we pronounce Bloodhaven differently. Oh, really? Is Bloodhaven not the way that most people say it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Bloodhaven, but I guess you can say like Bloodhaven. I don't know.
I know, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but they do they purposely announce it wrong in Peacemaker this week. Where he's like, what is it, like Blue Haven or something?
Yeah, I didn't even catch that, but yeah, you're right.
But like the whole point of it, he's like an old man, like it's supposed to be. But...
Exactly.
Yeah. What up, Michael? How's it going, buddy? That's probably the only universe other than What? Only universe.
Probably only in the universe that the other Peacemaker was from that it's pronounced differently, maybe.
Oh, maybe. I just kind of took that as he's old.
Just
you know what I
mean? Yeah.
But maybe I'll have to revisit it. Now I'm sad. Thank you for bringing up Superman and Lois.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Supremo, I guess, Lance and Jake are currently going through the show, and I'm
nice
as well.
Nice.
So go check out those videos.
Check it out.
Those have been fun. Hello, stranger. Mobile games got deleted. Yes, no, things like that are just night and day.
R.I.P. Flappy Bird.
Isn't it back now?
I don't know, dude.
Bring it back or something?
I don't know. And also, what was it? Fortnite Mobile got taken away for like 5 years,
and now that's
just recently came back. Yeah.
I think mobile games are kind of back, doesn't it? It feels
a little bit.
Yeah. It feels like
I've been playing this one DC mobile game. Like it's kind of bad. It is like literally a money pit.
The like Legion one,
it is DC Worlds Collide, is what it is. That's I think they put up an ad for it at the end of the Peacemaker episode. this week as well.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there's that one. I don't know if you saw the one that they were pushing for a while, but it had like those like brain dead, like those like brain rot ads, and it was like
Oh
for an
yeah,
official
yeah, yeah,
DC
yeah, yeah. I know
game.
what it was.
Or,
Yeah,
like,
it is like they were like it was a side scroller. It looked weird.
yeah. And
Not
then like
my
all
not
the
my kind of
memes
game.
was like Marvel has Marvel Rivals, DC has this, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but I
know.
mean, hey, again, Marvel Rivals, though, as much as people love it, it's still falling into the trap of microtransactions, battle passes, seasons, time-gated content, and all the,
Way of the
everything in between.
yeah.
Skins, in-game currency.
This is why trying to buy as much comic book media, DVDs, and Blu-rays, some of these are really hard to find, although especially old cartoons, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
That's why I'm so happy that I got it's definitely not even an official DVD, but I got a DVD box set of the original Flash series, the John Wesley Shipp
I need to
version.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it off of Amazon. It was like $20 or something like that. It was super cheap.
Yeah. Oh,
But
really? That's great.
yeah, yeah. This was years ago. This was like 5, 6 years ago at this point now.
So it's not the
So
whole.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to pull it out one day. It's in. There's a bin over here that it's in. It's next to
Our
all my comic books and
Walmart.
stuff.
I don't know if all Walmarts are like this, but Walmart's great for the box set collections. Like you
Yes.
could go and buy all of like what Flashes, all like $80 for the whole season. Arrow's like 60.
Dude, I miss the little like $5 movie section at Target.
Yeah, I think Walmart still has those. Walmart still has.
Yeah,
Like,
Walmart still has like the little movie bargain bin.
And then like I just bought because I've been going through Doctor Who and they took it off all of streaming.
Yeah, I saw you posted about it. Yeah,
and I bought like 10 seasons for like $40. And I was like,
Nice.
This is kind of insane.
Nice.
All right, last question, and then we'll move on to our final. You guys can still send them, and we'll get to them eventually. But
Yeah.
this and then we'll go into the main topics. Speaking of DC games, are you excited for Lego Batman?
Oh yeah,
Dude,
that looks good. That looks really
excited.
good, dude. It's Arkham Combat in the Lego universe. I'm down. I'm sold.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun.
Speaking of which, because of the game, because of that being announced, I finally started the Arkham games for like the
You
first
did.
time. I
Awesome.
I have my like 3 disc set with like, the main 3 games. I put it
Nice.
in this week,
And then, are you gonna go back and play Arkham Origins after you finish all of them?
I don't really know the difference, to be honest.
So Arkham Origins was made by a different studio. So everything is Rocksteady, and I think that was like WB Games Montreal or something like that. So it's a slightly different studio, slightly different combat system and everything like that. It's a prequel game, so it actually takes place before Asylum.
Yeah.
Different voice actor for Batman. I think it's Troy Baker, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Is Batman. It's good. Like that's the one where that cinematic of Batman fighting Deathstroke is from one of the Arkham Origins trailers. But yeah, Arkham Origins is pretty good. I went through and I played everything a while ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. I've got them actually all on the Epic Games Store too. They were free at one point. But I bought that Return to Arkham collection, I think on Xbox a while back. Oh, Troy Baker was the Joker. He was Batman. He was Batman in the Telltale games, right? I think. I'm mixing up my my incarnations here.
That's fair. Right now, I'm focusing on the first one, and then I'll see if I want to go forward or not. Because I'm very casual Batman. I'm not like diehard for Batman, so I don't know how much I can. Like, I like it, but I don't know if I want to play like 10 straight games in a row. But I will say I will be playing that new one. That looks incredibly fun. I really want to play that.
Let me know when you get to the Riddler trophies.
I have not. I haven't played any of the original Lego Batman either. Which
okay.
I would like to play 3 though, because 3 I heard is just like Justice League. It's just like
it's kind of ridiculous
Wonder Woman and stuff. So
yeah, I remember playing the original ones on the PS2 back in the day.
Okay, Taz, this is your opportunity. It landed you on a silver plate.
Yes.
Taz, what are your thoughts on Call of Duty Black Ops 7 reveal trailer from GameCon last Tuesday?
Oh, it's awful. Makes me want to buy Battlefield 6 is what the entire internet is trying to say. But dude, This is what we go through every year. Here, I'm going to stand on my soapbox again and say, don't worry about it. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. I know it seems like a bad take to have, but it's kind of the truth. Is Call of Duty in a lot of ways is too big to fail. Like, having the developers say that is not a good faith quote, but Call of Duty is Call of Duty. People will buy it. The people who buy all of the skins and the battle passes and stuff will do their thing. Call of Duty is going to make the money that it needs to make. It seems like they are learning some lessons from Black Ops 6, and they are going to try not to repeat those mistakes in Black Ops 7, specifically with zombies and certain maps not having cutscenes, and trying to do a little bit better with the storyline and everything like that. I know we're all up in arms about bringing back the original crew and all of this, but it looks good to me. Like, I think the game looks interesting. And again, Black Ops 2 was my favorite Call of Duty. That was the one that I put the most time into. And this is as close to a direct sequel to Black Ops 2 as we're going to get. So I would say temper your expectations, but be cautiously optimistic, right? I think don't pre-order until you've played the beta and actually know whether or not you want to play it for a full year, because you can just wait for a sale and get it for a much better price. But I'm excited. I play Call of Duty every year, whether I go into it saying I'm going to buy it or not. So again, temper your expectations, but I'm in it for the long haul because I'm a Zombies fan. So I'm going to play the new Zombies maps and everything. So Black Ops 7 Rage Bait.
Gamescom only showed 3 games. I want like a Batman, the new He-Man game. Really, I didn't see that.
I did not see that either, actually.
I haven't watched much He-Man, but I'm always. That's an
there's
IP.
There's a new Masters in the Universe show that they're filming. Is that a movie? Is that a Netflix movie or is it
it's
actual movie?
But you know who plays the villain?
Who?
Jared Leto.
I know. What's her face? Veronica from Riverdale's in it too, right?
Oh, is she?
I think so. I think that's the movie that she's in. I believe.
I would be excited if it wasn't for Jared Leto. I do not like.
Speaking of Jared Leto, I feel like I saw a picture from the new Tron and it looked awful. Like him in the suit, it just didn't look right. It just looked weird. I don't know.
Oh, that shot. Yeah, no. Like,
yeah.
I saw a comment that said it like looks like a Disney XD show, and I was like,
it does.
Yeah, I honestly, you cannot pay me to be excited for the new Tron movie. Like,
no, I mean,
I've never seen the original. I don't like Legacy. I think Legacy's boring.
I like Tron Legacy, but I will again. Here's another random tangent, and then we got to get back on track.
We have to.
But I still can't believe that they replaced Space Mountain with a Tron ride at Disney World. That still boggles the mind. But anyway,
never been, so I don't have a take. But
I rode the original Space Mountain back in the day. I've not been since they changed it, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see my one of my favorite rides gone.
It does suck though.
It's the same. Like, it's technically the same ride, but it's different coat of paint.
Sure. And Tron, I imagine, like, out of everything, I'm not a huge Tron fan, but like a ride does sound cool. like for Tron, like it makes sense why you'd want to.
It does, but like make a different ride. Don't replace an OG.
Yeah, I've seen the Jim Cummings clip that I think is quite funny, where they got rid of the like Winnie the Pooh ride, and they're like, all right, so we're giving you a new ride. It's gonna be Princess and the Frog, and he's like, awesome, that's amazing, but we have to get rid of the Winnie the Pooh ride. It's like, well, you're replacing me with me, but all right, you know.
That would be like them taking away Tower of Terror and replacing with the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Oh wait,
Disney did have an Animatron series. They sure did, and I remember ads for it, but I never actually watched it. But we have to get into this episode. We are 40 minutes in. We have got to get going.
Talk about your Alien Earth.
I won't be long with this. I don't have I mean, I have some things to say, but we won't go too deep. So this week I binged everything Alien. except for the crossover movies. I scheduled a pipeline for it. I was like, I'm scheduling this before I've seen them to motivate me to watch them before I can watch Alien Earth. Like, I set that in motion because I feel like sometimes I have to do that. So I talked about it on Thursday. I had a really fun time going through these movies. Some are a lot better than others, obviously. I think the first two are incredible. I think after that, they really stumble and fall over the years. And the prequels were kind of boring to me. And then Romulus, the one came out last year, I thought, just like everyone else, I thought it was incredible. But going into this show, I wasn't sure. I'll be honest, I kind of had low expectations for some reason. I think somewhere along the way, my brain associated with this show is going to be boring. And I was saying, like, why did I assume that? And I guess there's sometimes not a great track record at times with turning like big movie franchises into TV shows. Like sometimes I feel like with more time it can end up a little bit boringer than the movies because they had to stretch out this runtime. And like for some reason I was kind of dreading it a little bit. I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this because it's a big IP and I want to do it for the show. I am enjoying the show a lot. I'm having a really good time with it. They are taking the Alien franchise in a direction that I'd say they've never gone before in many ways. I think the focus on it for the first time, your lead isn't human, which, well, I guess I kind of did that with Romulus, but it was co-led by an android character, and 4, she's like a hybrid, so I guess you can argue that. But like the whole show, I don't know how much of the Alien movies you know, but all our leads for the most part are synthetic humans. They're not fully humans, and I think that aspect is very interesting so far. Episode 1 was kind of the setup. Episode 1 was setting up this beautiful world. They're doing this really very interesting thing. They're on this like excluded island where they're doing these experiments on like all these children, and then it does the thing where it sets up a really interesting setting and thing, and then they go to Earth, like regular, just plain boring Earth, and it's like, I kind of want to go back there. That's a cool place. That's a cool thing. But like that aside, I'm really enjoying this, and I think you'd actually really enjoy at least the main meat and potatoes of this, because synthetics are basically when you're kind of putting the mind of a human into the body of like a robotic, the hybrid kind of thing, right? So we're kind of at it, and our main cast of characters are all these children who are sick, they are dying, they are on the brink of death, and these very rich people are going to these parents of these sick children and being like, listen, we can save your child, we can fix whatever they have, but you can never see your children again. And it's that like dichotomy of like, oh, is this what we're doing? And like this is the first time in this universe, because it's a prequel, that we're ever seeing this. So we are dealing with the consequences of all these kids dealing with what's happened to them. They are now these children in these adults' bodies, and it's fascinating. Do you remember Nora from The Flash? How they wrote her to be a child, and it felt like a child. And that's all of these actors' performances, except this time it's on purpose. This time it's part of the plot. And
Interesting.
They are doing a great job. All of these actors feel, and I think that's the fun of the show, is getting to see these like 30-year-olds pretend like they're 8. And like, but they're getting chased by monsters and doing these like deep missions and, jumping over ledges and doing all these things. And I think like dealing with the mental capacity of like a child is fascinating to me, and I think they're doing some really cool stuff. The xenomorph stuff itself isn't bad by any means. Like it's good alien stuff, but it's my least favorite thing in the show so far, just because we've seen it. We've done the classic xenomorph chasing them stuff. So I think that's like it kind of feels like a new, fresh show, and then you have kind of the xenomorph stuff over there as like, oh, we have to spray the show in this kind of paint kind of thing. It kind of reminds me, and in a good way, not a bad way, but like of like kind of what Halo did, where it's like, oh, we have a really cool pitch for a show. Oh shit, no one will watch it. How do we get people to watch it? Oh, let's put Alien on it. And Alien's still a really good aspect of it. It's still better than most of the Alien stuff we've gotten. It's just the least interesting thing right now in the show. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not trying to undermine it, because I do think it's like really good. We're dealing with like the mental capacity of a like trillionaire and like what one does with money. This actor feels like he's giving his best, like Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, and that sounds like a an insult, but I really like Jesse Eisenberg. I'm one of the rare people that actually kind of enjoy that performance, and like there's this dynamic that's really interesting where he's like, I just want someone that can compete on my level. I just want someone that I can have an interesting conversation with, because you guys are dumb. Every human I've ever met is stupid, and maybe these children could give me a run for my money. So that stuff is also very interesting. There's a dynamic with our main girl and her brother. She cannot see her brother because this is all top secret stuff. She has to kind of like stay away, and she cannot stay away. And he gets kind of brought into the loop of things. And there's this story about like how one grieves, and this kind of like realization of like, wait, you're alive. I grieved you. Like what is going on? Like, how does that, incorporate into everything? That's very fascinating. But no, I'm enjoying it a lot. I think the first 3 episodes were very fun. Episode 1 is the setup. Episode 2 is like classic Alien. It is your like classic. It's like Alien, the movie. It's like your classic. We're stuck in a space. We are running from said creature. How do we survive? How do we get out of this? And then episode 3 really felt like they were setting up the show at large, what's going forward, because we normally don't get to explore this far. Once we escape the monster, movie's over, typically. So it's interesting. It's like, okay, we're setting up some ideas. We're setting up some things. Where are we going next? And I think that part is pretty fascinating. I will leave it at that, because we have some other stuff I want to spend a bit more time on. But I'll maybe go a bit more in detail next week.
Yeah. No, I mean, it sounds interesting. Again, I haven't dove into the Alien franchise a ton. I think really all I've seen is like Alien versus Predator, which is like the most random one to have seen.
Sure.
But I think again, is it something that I would certainly dive into? I've just got so many things, so many shows on my plate. Yeah, it just it is so low on the totem pole as far as that goes for me. But again, it seems like, again, if you're looking for something that is like world building, like you're looking for a connective universe, it sounds just right in that wheelhouse.
Sure. Short course, the only thing I've heard is the Alien Earth is the Ice Age squirrel thing. So the Ice Age franchise so far is playing a very big role in the series, which is a very, I don't know if you saw those like headlines where it's like,
I did. I saw the little screenshot. It was like, oh, Ice Age is canon in the Alien universe or something.
Yeah, no, it's like plays a weirdly bigger part in the movie than you would think. Like the whole thing is like, our main girl and like her brother like watched it as a kid, and they have a connection watching that together, and like she's spying on the brother or watching the movie, like grieving over her, and they like even quote the line as like a, wait, how would you know this? Like if you would only know this if you were my sister, kind of thing. And they quote Ice Age 4 of all movies, which I think is hilarious. It like it's the pirate one, which I love. I love Ice Age 4, but most people don't. Most people are like, that's where it fell off. So I think it's hilarious that they get to incorporate such a weird IP. Like Disney has so many IPs. They could have picked it could have been Avatar, it could have been, any other Disney movies over there, but it's Ice Age. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. I think that's kind of cool. Peter Pan also plays a very big part in the show. So they're definitely using that like Disney money. They're like, oh, we're Disney now. We can use this stuff. Would you say someone who's never watched the Alien movies would enjoy the show, Darren? Ooh, I think so. I think it's a difference. But again, like this is a prequel. This takes place before any of the mainstream Alien movies that aren't the actual prequels, that aren't like the mainstream. So you can kind of watch this technically as your first, so far at least. Darren, the girl plays Wendy's Alien Earth, is Kyle Chandler's daughter. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. He's playing Hal Jordan in the upcoming Lanterns show.
Okay, very nice.
Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan in the Lantern. Yes. Okay, are we ready for the first big show here? I forgot to do
Hurry.
this with Alien, but I put on little I made little things. So are you ready to talk about
Time to make some peace.
Peacemaker season 2? I hope that doesn't get claimed because it does have a little bit of music in it. Peacemaker season 2, it is back. The first installment in the DCU. The first, well, first
The
TV
first
show.
television, well, the first
First
live
live
action
action
television show.
TV
The
show.
third project
The
of
third
the
installment.
DCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
what did we think? Because I know that you had a little bit of a mixed idea of
Going in.
Peacemaker going into it. I know that I was pretty excited going into it. I really enjoyed the first season. We knew that there was going to be some aspects that they ended up retconning, changing
Yeah.
from the first season just to make it actually fit the new DCU that they're trying to create.
Yeah.
We saw that right with the little recap at the beginning. So that big, coming right out of the gate, right? The big Justice League scene at
Yeah.
the end of season 1 was changed up a little bit. So it is the Justice Gang there instead of the Justice League.
We
Um,
we talked about that in great detail. We had said
yeah,
that on multiple streams that we said something like that was going to happen. I think it really threw me off because I don't know. I guess I was expecting it to be the end of the season that they would like
yeah,
create a scene kind of similar to that at the end of the season, just like they did in season 1. That like Superman would show up or something would show up, and it was very fascinating to kind of see like just that in the moment, like holy shit, okay, we're doing it now. But also I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, he has said for people wondering what's canon and what's not, just look at the previous eons.
yeah,
Which I will say I did think it's pretty interesting that it wasn't previously on Peacemaker, it was previously on the DCU.
previously in the
Which
DCU.
is it's funny because that's what the MCU has been kind of like criticized for over the last couple of years, is being a TV show. For like every project feels like an episode of a TV show, and that definitely feels like that. It feels like,
Yeah,
well, Creatures is episode 1, Superman was episode 2, and Peacemaker is episode
Peacemaker's
3.
episode 3. Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting. But also it is like the pure definition of a retcon. It is like
Yes, it is like the
what that
first
is.
legitimate retcon
Yeah.
in like a live action superhero thing. Like
It's
outside of like a small recast or something like that. It's like, no, this was actually changing an event that
Yeah.
happened.
No, it's very interesting. Were you upset by this change? I know there was a lot of people
Not at all.
were
Not at all.
pissed. They're like, they're erasing the Justice League. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah,
point of
like
a
that's
reboot.
kind of the whole point. Like, yeah, I'm not upset by it at all. Like, I think, does it create some questions? Sure. Like, when does this actually take place in relation to what we saw with the Superman movie?
Yeah.
Like Supergirl is there as well, so obvious kind of elephant in the room. Like, she's already teaming up with them too. So
Yes.
I'm guessing Supergirl is also very public when we meet her.
Active.
Like, that was kind of a question that we had from the end of Superman, right? Is like, okay, is Clark kind of just hiding his cousin, or is she not really a public active hero? But obviously she is.
Cool
Superman,
to-
Supergirl, kind of, freelance working for the Justice Gang, but it also shows that this is pre-Superman movie because Metamorpho's not there.
Yes.
So
I'd be curious to see, like, I think you could, if you want, I think you could show that scene in full, or like maybe not that scene exactly, but like have a scene in either Supergirl, maybe to open Supergirl, or even in the third installment that they're already working on. Like maybe that's how you intro the movie. It's like a flashback of like Superman, Supergirl, and the Justice Gang working together to stop a nuclear event or something, or something like that.
yeah.
But it is interesting that they're actively heroes together in the modern day, which does make sense. But it was cool to get like official confirmation of that. I'm just like what they're doing there.
Yeah. No, I think that was a good way to start it. Honestly, again, I'm not upset by it at all. I'm not mad at it. It makes sense. We jump into the universe, and we kind of pick up pretty much right where we left off at the end of last season. Is Peacemaker's kind of struggling with the duality of his life. Like, hey,
Mm,
he's done some messed up things in the past. He's done some bad things, but he's trying to make up for it. He feels regret. He feels, responsible for a lot of the
mhm,
trauma that he's gone through, that he's put other people through. He very much so reminisces on the death of his brother and how, he ended up killing his father, and kind of the trail of bodies that he left, which then also parallels the story going on with Rick Flag Sr. Like, we get that scene of him being interviewed by the Justice Gang, by Maxwell Lord,
yeah,
Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, as well as Hawkgirl, and we get that kind of brought up there, and like that's really the big
yeah,
crux of what happens.
yeah. I, wa-
Is Yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. I just wanted to hang a light on that scene in particular, though, because I have thought about that scene a lot. Like, that was our trailer scene, and like in the trailer, I didn't like that scene very much because I said that makes this team feel like terrible, horrible people. And I still stand by that. They are kind of really, really shitty asshole people. Which I guess I only have a problem with the Hawkgirl because I just associate Hawkgirl with being a much different kind of character. But in the full context of it, like I think what they're doing is they're shine lining what Peacemaker was doing to other characters in season one. It's showing what he was doing to Astronomo and like a lot of the people in his life at the time, even in the Suicide Squad movie, and shining that right back on him, a character that's like, I'm trying to improve, I'm trying to do better, but sometimes you can't accept what you've done, and I think that's interesting for sure. I also think it's interesting they didn't say no, right? They didn't say, because by the trailer we assumed, oh, they just said no. They probably
Hmm.
didn't accept them because of blank, 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 and blank, and maybe that's where it was going. But they didn't say no to literally anybody. It seems like everyone ran or walked out, or most people ran or walked out because they are insulting them and they're tearing
Yeah.
them down and stuff like that, which is interesting. I do wonder if the season will ultimately end with them saying yes or something like that. Like, I'm wondering if that's where it's going. If that's where it goes, and then maybe this is getting way ahead of myself, but like maybe we don't get a Peacemaker season two. Maybe we get a Justice Gang season one or something like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's the evolution of that story. And with them being so featured, I actually would not be shocked if it's like a season with like Hawkgirl, John Cena, Guy Gardner, and like all these various characters kind of building up to something. I could maybe see that being a direction that we go in.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think as well, like that scene again is the big jumping off point for the season, for the episode, right? Is so they bring up the idea of, yes, you've hurt people, yes, you've killed people, mostly bad people, but like what about the people that didn't deserve
Yeah,
to die?
yeah,
And then that is the crux, that is the backbone of what Peacemaker ends up deciding to do. That also once again parallels Rick Flag Sr.'s story, with him out for revenge and out for
hmm,
just any way to expose Peacemaker for who he truly is because of the death of his son. Um, we get a little bit more exploration of that kind of pocket dimension that Peacemaker's father had from last season. We
yeah,
follow Eagly in there. I think that was kind of fun. It was like, oh, it's too cold. Like, I'll just take you out in the pocket dimension. Go do your thing.
yeah.
Then he stumbles across a door that leads him to a parallel universe or a parallel Earth. Like they said both universe and Earth. So I'm guessing that this is opening up the multiverse. I know that this was a big
We talked about this a
question
lot.
going into it. We talked about this a lot too when the trailer first came out. Like, is this multiverse? Is this parallel timeline, parallel Earth, parallel universe?
Yeah.
What does that even mean
I
in the context of the show?
I'm still sticking with my, unless I'm proven wrong, and it could be, but like my current headcanon is that like this is alternate timeline. This is like, what
I
if
don't
our world
know.
was
I
slaves?
think it's post. I think it even post Superman.
I
This is
think it's
multiverse.
multiverse.
This is multiverse because again, they fought a interdimensional imp in Superman, right? Like Lex Luthor had his own pocket dimension. Like there
So
are
you
like
think
everybody's got a pocket dimension. What's up with that, by the way?
so
Everybody's got a pocket dimension.
so you think Chris could go in a door and find like Henry Cavill?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the same idea
All
as
right.
like the, Titans multiverse,
Okay.
right? Or the same idea as our Arrowverse multiverse, or the fact that the DCU is a slight variation of the DCEU, even to an extent, right? Like, I think maybe that is a way that they explain it too. It's like, yes, these are the events that we're showing you, but things happened slightly different in this universe. Like, yeah, I think they're retconning it in the fact that this is what we have always been following for the Peacemaker story.
No.
But there is a universe that exists that Peacemaker is still within the DCEU. This is just the DCU's version of Peacemaker, who has a similar backstory, but slight changes along the way.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting, and I'm curious to see how we tackle the multiverse aspect of it, because like multiverse has been done a lot the last couple
Yeah,
of
it
years.
has. It has.
I said when it was first announced that the DCU won't tackle multiverse for many years, like 10 plus years, and they instantly do it. They
Yeah,
do it
again,
literally.
it's lived in universe, man. Lived in universe.
Project number 3. But I think what they're doing with it, and I could be wrong. Maybe there's a cameo fest like episode 7 or some shit. I don't know. Apparently they are keeping those final 3 episodes locked in. They said like those final 3 are insane. That they want no one to know anything. They're keeping those spoilers down out of lock. So maybe I don't know. Maybe Henry Cavill shows up. We're like, holy shit, this is crazy. But like multiverse is one of my favorite sci-fi concepts in media, and it's really gotten drowned out in just how much it's been done. And I simply think it's just because it hasn't been done right. It's been used as an Easter egg machine, as a reference machine, as a cameo machine, instead of a prop for good storytelling. And some of my favorite versions of this is what the Arrowverse did with it, as being able to introduce various characters within that aren't just, hey, it's me, or it's, hey, it's blank person. It's like, no, so many various characters, or like so many various characters that are just different versions, different, just good characters. And then like, the old like Phineas and Ferb movie, and then like, a great example of this is Everything Everywhere All at Once, came out a couple years ago. Like that's like the gold standard one where it's like, yeah, one of the greatest movies of all time, multiverse movie. You know what I mean? So it's like I've been missing that a lot in this comic book sphere, and like with the MCU literally being the multiverse saga, what Loki is, I'd say the and there's been great ones too, but like I think Loki is one of the ones that's like, oh yeah, they're doing something really special with this brand. But where do we want to take this? Because I feel like there's several avenues to this.
There's a lot of different directions, but I think broad strokes, right? So Peacemaker is feeling down and defeated, like he won't be accepted because of who he is and what he's done in his past, even though he saved the world. He wants to be different. He wants to be a hero. He wants to, end up, he wants to get the girl, right? Like he wants to live this normal life, but also live the life of a hero, is change the path that he was set on by his father. He wants to prove his father wrong. He wants to honor the memory of his brother. He wants to, again, make up for those past mistakes. And the big one that will come back to bite him this season is obviously the death of Rick Flag's son, of Rick Flag Jr. that we saw in in the Suicide Squad, a few years ago. And I think it's so interesting how that movie, that seems at the time very inconsequential, has become such a big jumping off point. Like in a lot of ways, Peacemaker killing Rick Flag in that movie is the reason why a lot of things happen the way that they did. It's the reason, it's a big reason why Creature Commandos, played out the way that it did. Big, motivation for why, Rick Flag Sr. is doing what he's doing in Superman and what he's doing now in Peacemaker with, that 24/7 surveillance on him, employing, Economos to take, to keep watch on him and everything like that. So I think it's interesting. I like the concept of the pocket dimension. I think it's cool that we see the random alien creature. So it's not just, Peacemaker in there. I think in a way that this is also partially a retcon. Like I thought that in season 1, yeah, it was a big space, but I didn't realize that anybody had access to this pocket dimension. I thought it was just
That's
like a
interesting.
one-way door.
Who has
But
access to it? Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
like it just seems like anybody can just get into this pocket dimension. So obviously it's not just Peacemaker's father like just created it. He just, I guess, found
tapped
the
into
code,
it.
right,
Yeah.
tapped into it, found the right code or the right
Which is
coordinates.
better, right? Because it'd be
Yeah.
weird if he was the one in the entire multiverse that's like,
It's
I
like,
created
yeah,
this.
I've got a pocket dimension. Like, yeah,
Not
that
like
is,
Adam, not Mr. You
yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
then
Like
and
in
that
all
is
the
weird, right? Is so Peacemaker is such a street level character,
yeah,
but he's got a pocket dimension.
yeah.
So in a lot of ways, I feel like he knows more about now after this season. He's gonna learn a lot more about the wider universe and multiverse than even like Superman. I think, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Does Mister Terrific know about this pocket dimension?
I don't think
Does
so.
Lex Luthor know about this other pocket dimension? Is Lex Luthor responsible for this pocket dimension? I don't know. I don't know.
But I do really think it's a very smart world building tactic. Like I do love the stuff where it's like, this is priority number one because something like this, if something what happened, last month happens again, we are responsible because we didn't do stuff. Like that is very smart writing. I think that was
Yeah.
like, okay, nice way to connect it. But I'll also like, it's not a thing where if you didn't watch Superman, you're like, what the hell? Oh my god! You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
it's done enough for the people who know, and if you don't know, you're just missing out just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, I think if you say just watched Peacemaker, you didn't watch Superman, you go into the season and you're like, wait a second, like who are these guys? Why is the ending a little bit different?
Mm-hmm.
It does seem a little weird. Like, as much as I would like to say you can watch Peacemaker season 2 without have watched Superman in the past,
Yes.
it's tough to
I
say
think
general audiences will actually care or understand. Like it just seems like they're just throwing you into things, which as fans we love
Mm-hmm.
because we love established universes. We love not having to tell a backstory again or start from ground zero. But again, if you just watched Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, didn't care about the new Superman, and then went into Peacemaker season 2, who's the Justice Gang? Why did they replace the Justice League?
Yeah.
Why is Calendar Man Maxwell Lord? Like what's going on here? But I think overall it was a good starting point, a good jumping off point. I think they presented enough with that other universe. Is basically Peacemaker's life is kind of crap. He wants out of it. So he goes to the other world and he tries to assume the life that the other Peacemaker had, which is the quote unquote perfect life. His brother's alive and he grew up. His dad seems like a good guy. They're all a superhero team together. In that universe, Peacemaker is with Harcourt, or seems like it. So he tries to assume that life. It's very emotional too. Like I think that one of the big critiques I think of the first season of Peacemaker was like, oh, it's just jokes. Oh, it's just, James Gunn humor, that sort of thing. No, this episode had a lot of heart, a lot of tough morality choices, a lot of tough decisions, and a lot of big concepts and themes that all culminated in him having to make a split-second decision that will not only alter the course of reality as he knows it, but an entirely different reality. Because what happens now that you have in your world killed your brother, killed your father, gone to this perfect world and killed yourself?
Yes.
And now is trying to assume what you believe to be the perfect life. And I can already see where this is going, though. I can already see where this is going, right? Is he assumes the perfect life. He thinks that that's everything that he wanted, where, and then you're going to have our main team, our Vigilante and Economos and Harcourt and everybody be like, no, Chris, like you got to come back and you got to, be our Peacemaker again. Like, yes, that might be the perfect world, but we were the perfect world was the friends we made along the way, right?
I don't think it's
our world might not be right. Exactly. Is our world might not be the definition of perfect, but you are the way that you are because the world is not perfect. And I think that's the theme that they're trying to get across.
Yes. I think there's a twist. I think like the whole season, this feels like, oh, it's the perfect community, the perfect world, everyone's happy. I think the twist, it's like a Nazi world or something. Like I think
Yeah, I think his
they
dad is still
do
evil.
so good because everyone is the same like-minded as them, and they are the normal, which means
Yeah.
they are normal. But when you like
Mhm.
look back a little bit,
Yeah, I
you're
think
like,
you're gonna start seeing the cracks as the
yes,
season goes on.
yeah, no, for sure. No, I think we're doing that, and like I definitely agree with you that the heart's always been the best part about Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to go back and re-watch the first season because I still haven't had time to do that yet, but I really do want to. But I think this episode to me felt just like season one, and how I felt about the show is where the jokes don't always land for me in Peacemaker. There were several jokes in this episode where, and maybe we can talk about that in a second. That didn't work for me. That didn't land for me. Where I'm like, oh, come on, James. You know what I mean? It's like, that one didn't work for me. But then they will immediately follow it up by the most heartfelt, the most emotional scene I've ever seen in my life. And I
Yeah.
think a great example of this is the like heart court scene when she's in like with the therapist as she's doing that, and it starts off as a joke where it's like, me, that can't be me. I have a vagina, that can't be me, and that's a very silly James Gunn joke. But then it's led up by like, what am I supposed to do with my life now? You've taken this away from me. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? And it's like, I got a little emotional. I got a little
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this is really really tough.
Right,
And
as you wouldn't think that Peacemaker would be the show to
yes,
present these tougher ideals and these tougher themes. But again, I
yeah,
guess you're right, is that was kind of the crux of last season too.
yeah,
Is like there was a lot more to the show
yeah,
than what it was presented on the surface, which was big, fun, silly, goofy,
yes.
slightly self-aware action TV show with vulgar language and, super gory action sequences and stuff like that. Like there's more to the story there. It's like,
It's how it
it's a
contrasts itself. Like
right.
that was one of my like some of my favorite moments in season one was like that damn intro, and like that damn intro was so good because each
Yeah.
episode it meant something a little different, and and maybe we talk about the intro like here in a second, but
Yeah.
like you would they would do the most like like I think what was it, episode 5 or like 4 or 5 when they do the whole "you killed your brother, you son of a bitch" scene, and you do that scene and then it cuts to them dancing all silly,
Yeah.
and like when you're watching it from that POV, they're all saying something a little bit different that time.
Yeah. Well,
You're
and
looking at their facial expressions, you're looking at how they're doing it, and it's like each episode it tells a different story.
yeah.
And
And to your
I
credit too is
yeah,
the musical number for this season is less of a
more
big fun
melancholy. Yeah.
production and it is a story. It is telling a heartfelt story through song and dance,
Yes.
which is very cool when you look at it from that
Yes.
perspective and from that angle. And
Do
I
you like last season more or this season more?
ooh, that's interesting. I think you can't really top the first season's
Yeah.
intro. And I think that song is better too. I think it fits the show a little bit more, but I
Yeah.
think that this fits the season though. Is it fits the
Agreed.
idea
Yeah.
of growth and change and character evolution.
Yeah. No, I think I enjoyed that first one a little bit more, but I think this one might be a little bit more. I think it might hit a little
More
more.
meaningful, a little bit more
Yeah.
impactful. But I am so
Yeah.
glad that I didn't watch the intro before I watched the show. Like
Yeah.
that was the one thing that I wanted to avoid is like I didn't want
Yeah.
to know anything about what the musical number was
Yeah.
going to be for the season going into it.
We had a friend of like of our community that was there at San Diego, and they got to go to Peace
At
Fest
Peace Fest.
where like the like band came out and they were like, this is going to be the song from Peacemaker season 2, and like I wish I hadn't heard it then, but I wish I was in the room when that happens because I can't imagine the energy in the room where like
Yeah.
you are
Oh
hearing
yeah.
what the song for the first, like that's so
Oh, it would have
awesome.
been great. It would have been great.
That's so special. Um, but no, like I kind of want to talk about the scene that is getting everyone up in flames for the episode. Like I hadn't even watched the episode yet, and I had heard about the alleged orgy scene from people. And I at first I kind of agreed with some people where like the main thing I mean, people are pissed. People hate this scene. Like this scene's getting absolutely dragged by people. I saw a tweet today that really pissed me off, where it's like, anyone that defends this scene is getting blocked instantly. This is a disgrace on art itself. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And I had to do some research because it can't be that scene. It can't be that you saw a penis. It can't be. And it seems like it was. And I know a lot of people said, "Oh, that just felt forced. That just felt random, and you didn't need that scene."
I mean, I thought it was like, it showed how far Peacemaker had like gone into this deep dark depression. Like it showed you that he hit rock bottom, man. Like that's all there is to it. That was the point of the scene. The scene was to show that his life was so far in the dumpster that is what he has resulted to at this point. I think that was the point of the scene. It is that's it. That is the point of the scene.
No, I 100% agree. Like, I think, just to break it down like a little bit more, like, he goes to the Justice Gang, and this family that he wants to gain has rejected him.
He's been rejected by that family. His found family is scattered.
And they
Hardcourt wants nothing to do with him. Vigilante's off doing his thing. Economos is investigating him.
So he resorts to what he associates with comfort or happiness, which is drugs, sex, parties, and he can't find it there either. So he resorts to his old family, and he doesn't know it yet, but he resorts to his old family. And I think that there is something really cool there with just someone who has improved so much that what used to help him no longer helps him, and he doesn't know how to handle that. So like,
how to deal with that? He feels rejected.
My dad is there. Let me try and find him again. Like, let me try and feel literally anything in that scene. I think that's honestly a really cool thing.
And it makes sense. The whole point was to show Peacemaker at his lowest point. He felt rejected by, like you said, the family he wanted to join, his found family from last season, and found himself without any actual blood family. So what do? You'd find the next best thing. Let's go to an alternate universe where my family is still alive. Again, we've got a little bit of a skirmish between alt universe Peacemaker and our Peacemaker, and he kills him, but it wasn't in the way that it was even presented when the trailers and stuff came out. It seemed like, he was basically going to assassinate himself.
It was an accident.
But it was an accident.
I'm glad.
It was an accident, but now he's going to have to take advantage of the opportunity that he has been given, or he is going to be kind of forced to cover it up. And I think in a lot of ways too, what is the other theme of this season going to end up being? And I think that this is the perfect spot to leave it off is be careful what you wish for, right? Be careful what you wish for, because it might come true. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? Is be appreciative of what you have and why you have it. It is the trauma and the tough life choices that have made Peacemaker who he is currently, and who have shifted him from being a villain to an anti-hero to somebody who wants to be an actual hero.
And I think it is fascinating, because again, I think this whole season is about self-reflection and how we view oneself. And I think the perfect way to do that is literally him viewing the looking glass and being like, oh, this is what my life could have been. And I think that comes across in their fighting styles in a very interesting ways, where Peacemaker was more equipped for fighting. Like he knew this like he knew this stuff very well. He was moving, he was using his his helmet very well, but he wasn't as street smart. He didn't know how to fight as good as our Peacemaker. And that's all.
No, and I don't think he's ever had. I was going to say he's never had to. He's never actually. I think he's never actually fought for his life.
Him. Yeah, he was properly trained. So it's like that's very fascinating to me, and I think there's going to be a self-reflection where definitely the stuff with like Rick Flag, where it's like, well, you did this, you are a murderer, and he's like, no, I'm not, and it's like, you can't say that, you literally just killed this man. And I think there's going to be something interesting, especially when they find out, because like they're obviously going to find out about it. They're going to be like, you son of a bitch, you killed our Chris, like you are a monster. And I think there's going to be a great narrative there where like he killed both of this man's both of this man's sons. He killed on both worlds. He killed his son twice, and I think that is really going to fuck
And I
this
think
guy
he's
up.
also, I can just see this now. There's, again, like his family turns out to not be who they thought or who he thought that they were. And he makes some sort of reference or, one liner of like, oh, I'm glad I killed you in my world or something like that.
Yeah,
Or, I think that's going to probably
yeah.
end up happening. But
I'm curious if
again,
they
Chris
stick
has to
around.
go. He has to go through this to
Yes,
then
yes,
learn what he has to appreciate and to be thankful for on his world.
yeah,
Um, and I guess one final little aside here.
yeah.
Can we just take a second to give John Cena his
He's
props
doing
for how
fantastic.
good of an actor he
Yeah,
is? I know people
yeah.
talk about this all the time, like who is the best wrestler turned actor?
It's
It's got to
John
be
Cena
Cena.
to me.
It's got to be
Yeah,
Cena. It's got to be Cena. I mean, Batista is a very close
yeah,
second. Not Angel Batista, Dave Batista. But I think Cena, like he brings it, man.
yeah.
Like he really brings it. He's come a long way from being Fred's
Fred.
imaginary father.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
No, I
really
mean,
has.
there was that like huge ranking that came out, and like Dwayne Johnson came up before Cena. I was like, bullshit. I think that's so silly. But maybe he'll
Oh
prove
man,
himself this year.
I could have a whole live stream talking about how The Rock plays the same character in
Mhm.
every movie, no matter what.
But he's in that new movie this year where it's like he's all like the face prosthetics. He's playing a very different character. So I'm
But
hoping
he's playing a wrestler. He's playing himself.
true, but it's a very different kind of wrestler. It
It's
seems
a
like a
different kind of
like
wrestler, yes.
different voice, different like he's doing at least something
Yes,
too.
yes,
So
he is doing something different.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Final thoughts here as well. I do just want to give hardcore her flowers as well because that actress gets so much shit.
Yeah.
Because she's just, oh, it's James Gunn's wife. Oh my god, I can't believe but like I think she might be one of the best actors in the show. Like her
Yeah.
performance
Well, I
episode
did see
after
somebody say
episode.
too, is she's basically the second lead of the show now.
Oh yeah.
Is like, yeah, she had a much smaller role in the first season, but I think not a small role, but a smaller role in the first season, right? It was
She's
very much so
she's co-led.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now she is for all intents and purposes, I think, co-lead. And
I
I think
asked
that's
this
a good thing.
yeah. I asked this on Ronan's show this week, and now we can start doing these kind of questions now that we're 3 projects in. Was the hardcore bar fight scene this week the best DCU fight scene so far?
I would say
No. Okay.
no, because there were a lot
Okay.
of cuts. There were too many cuts for me.
Mm,
I think
okay.
I don't like choppy fight scenes. I still think my favorite one is the Mr. Terrific fight scene from
Oh
Superman.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. I
yeah.
when
I don't think that there's topping that right now. So it was good. It was a good fight scene. It was a good fight scene, but again, it was too choppy for
okay,
me.
fair enough, fair enough. Do we think she is in love with Pete? 100%.
Well, duh.
There's no doubt about it. But like I do appreciate the progression of that. I guess I'd say like it
Yeah.
feels like I feel like with some of these seasons when they don't want to progress a love story, sometimes it can feel very like, wait, why aren't we here yet? Right? Because like with where the season ended, you think, oh, next is dates, and I think it really works here because both characters are really really bad at expressing how they feel, and both are reflecting, and both there's that terrific scene when they're both like, well, you said this and you said this and this doesn't matter. Oh yeah, well this doesn't matter, and it's like, oh, both are reflecting or deflecting so hardly. Like if they could just sit down,
deflecting and projecting.
yes, and if they could just sit down and have a conversation about how they
What
feel,
about communication? Trust.
yes.
La
And
passion.
she's still, I actually do think that's very fascinating. Of just like her, the unableness to actually say how she feels because she has to feel tough, she has to feel strong, is really interesting. I think that's going to be very different than a lot of like female characters we see in media, and I think it's very important to show different types of just any personality in media. It's just like, hey, sometimes this is something people deal with, and how do you move on from that? And like, how do you deal with that's interesting, especially since we're going to be contrasting her with another hardcore And it's like, okay, that person, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, well, this version is very open and honest and tells him how they're feeling, which is why they've been together. And hopefully she can. I don't want her to change, obviously, but I want her to be able to look at that and be able to be open about how she feels and how she's feeling. And again, I think it's going to be a big season for her as well. We have other characters we can go over, but I do want to move on for we have time for our final show here.
Shout out Vigilante.
Vigilante. There was weird stuff with Waller as well. They refused to show her face, and that.
You're right. You're right. But
this is like the final thing I will say, I promise. But like Waller was supposed to come out before Peacemaker, and then they announced this new universe, and now they won't even show her. And now, and I know she was in Creatures and stuff, but that's anime, so it's like,
yeah.
I wonder if she's on the fence. I wonder if she's on, well, I don't know if I want to commit to a whole universe just yet. So I'm wondering if she's they're not showing her for a reason, just in case they have to recast or something.
Oh, and then final thing.
Yes.
Chat. Type 1 for Rick Flag Sr. silver hair. Type 2 for Rick Flag Sr. dark hair.
It is funny because he said next time you see me, going forward, it will all be the white hair, and it was not. But I guess he would. I guess.
Did you see the interview? Was that in the little end of season or end of the episode thing, or was that a separate thing? But I saw the clip.
Jared Leto thing.
No, I saw the clip of Gunn and Frank Grillo talking about it. It was basically just like, yeah, dude, I was on a different show that had priority. Yeah. Like that's why my hair was different. It means nothing, basically. It's like hairstyles change. Yeah. I think it's so silly that is like the biggest controversy is Rick Flag Hairgate. You know?
But he said like going forward, his hair will be white in every DC project going forward, which is like, I personally don't give a shit, but I know some people do. So
James Gunn self-insert silver hair.
I know, it's so stupid.
Again, I'll keep saying this till the end of time. I love Gunn. I'd love to, the gun keeps firing and it won't stop.
I mean, all of his projects are like 88% on Rotten Tomatoes or higher. And this was 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's like
you can't nerf the gun.
Can't nerf the gun. Alrighty, our next show. What are we talking about next, Taz?
Dexter.
Yeah. Hope that doesn't get you either. But that
usually the intro's fine. The intro's fine. Yeah. Anything else? Count your days. Paramount will be at your door. Trust me.
Yes. Yeah. Dexter Resurrection. We talked about this last because I wanted some separation between our heartbreaking original sin talk. But Dexter Resurrection, episode 8. A lot of people, spoilers for the season, by the way. Or the episode, I guess. There's a lot of speculation before the episode this week of, is this the episode we say goodbye to a certain someone? And he is still with us for now, because, because of what next episode is titled. People thought, maybe we kill him this episode in the funeral or, the morning or whatever is next week's episode or something like that. But he is our sweet baby angel. Angel is still with us. He's still in one piece. He's cutting it close. I will say this episode does some things for our boy Angel where I'm like, oh boy, buddy, oh boy, what are they doing to you, my boy? All right, what was your general thoughts on episode 8 of Dexter?
Surprise, hermano. Dexter Resurrection, season 1, episode 8, titled "The Kill Room Where It Happens." I love this episode title, by the way. Yeah. I think it's great. I think it fits the episode perfectly. We follow on exactly how I thought we would from the end of last episode. We have Dexter and Harrison's relationship continuing to grow and flourish and change and really become the father-son dynamic duo that we wanted to see. Dexter is still kind of reeling from the events of last week's episode as well, taking out Gareth. He has now eliminated Gemini. He has eliminated Lady Vengeance. He has eliminated the actual Dark Passenger Red. He has eliminated the tattoo collector with Lowell, and now he has one of Praetor's killers left on his list to put on his table, and that is, of course, Al, aka Rapunzel. And this episode, again, brings a lot of elements together. Dexter's very laser-focused this week, and
Yeah.
trying to juggle a lot. And he slips up a little bit this week, but he recovers. Like it's a little stumble, but he recovers from it, right? So all while Dexter is formulating this plan to get Al on his table, he calls him, he sets up this meeting that they're going to go meet after Al goes to see Hamilton. I thought that was pretty funny.
It was funny.
But the episode opens up with Batista peak investigation. Again, where was this detective work back in Miami? He's got his whole theory murder board. He's got his voice recordings. What did this remind you of, by the way? Because I immediately pinpointed this is his Lundy moment. This is his special agent Lundy moment. He's got the voice recordings. Basically
What happened
captain's log. I'm investigating the Bay Harbor butcher. I've placed a tracer in his car. Angel's AirPods were the hero of the episode. This is the culmination of everything that we've been looking forward towards. And as well, we also get more elements from Prater. We see Prater setting up this, charity gala for the NYPD. We see him get a little heated with his people, but in a good way, right? As we see him as, present himself as somebody who cares. He's like, oh, this looks great. But what event are we setting up? This is a gala for injured police officers. Yes. Where's the wheelchair accessibility? And the lady's like, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. Take the week. You'll figure it out. But just make sure it's perfect. And then they have Prater has this conversation with Charlie, which I love this scene. Charlie's like, I don't trust Red. There's something up. I have a bad feeling about this. And Prater's like, what do you think Red's doing? Do you think he infiltrated our organization, killed Lowell, set Mia up, killed all of these people? Yeah. Do you think he instigated this fight with Gareth and killed him? Like, no, these people were not who we thought they were. I trust Red. I think he's a good guy. And Charlie's like, I am not buying this for 1 second. And Prater is showing his true colors when he tells her, like, hey, do your job. What is that job? Protect me. So just get on it.
Yeah, it does put like I guess it puts a little nail in a coffin, just a little bit, to my theory that he does.
It does.
But
it does.
He could be just like furthering protecting Red/Dexter.
Yes.
Like him being him again, I rewatched the scene from last week where like he jumped in really quickly, where like nothing to see here, let's let's move on, he dismissed everything.
Oh yeah, Gareth, yeah, he was crazy all along, don't worry about it.
Very quickly, and then he defended him even further to Charlie itself. Like that could have been a moment where he's like, oh no, I've known the whole time. She's like, what, that, what I mean? Like that could have been a moment, but he didn't. And maybe he's even protecting Red from his own people. So it's like, maybe I'm not throwing it out.
I would never say never. And there's another theory that I saw thrown around. I'll mention this too, because it seems like anytime we mention a theory, it comes true. That I saw something that maybe the pen pal of Prater, the guy who murdered his parents, was the original New York Ripper. And when he died, Prater took over for him as the Ripper.
Interesting.
Very interesting angle. I don't necessarily subscribe to that theory, but I think it's interesting.
I also have a theory.
Okay.
Semi unrelated, but it does revolve Prater, I guess.
Okay.
Gigi is undercover. I think.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Hold up.
This is the episode where he kind of approaches Harrison for the first one. Oh, you have a son.
Gigi just up.
She just kind of showed up one day and instantly fell in love with Harrison.
So you don't think that she is Lumen's daughter?
No, I think she's a spy for Prater. I think he looked into it himself. I think
is she Prater's daughter?
That'd be more interesting, but I think that's a little bit too I think that's a little too fanficky. You know what I mean?
But that's such a that is such an interesting theory. I would love to. Okay, let's dive into that when we get to that part of the episode. But okay, let's put a pin in that. I love it. I love the idea. I love the idea. But okay, back to Dexter setting up his investigation or setting up the vetting and everything for Al. I love the conversation in the car with Dexter and Harry. Dexter and Harry were on fire with the back and forths this week. Like that was something that my mom told me. She watched the episode before I did. She was like, pay attention to Dexter and Harry's interactions. Like they were on fire this week. Harry was like, really, oh, you killed all... Yeah.
I gotta read this comment. I need them to reveal who the Ripper is because I've been seeing some crazy theories that it's Quinn. Can you imagine if it was Quinn?
Okay, hey guys, final theory. The New York Ripper is actually the president of Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
The end.
This would be the craziest reveal out of all. It'd be the dumbest, but it would be the crazy. I'd be like, what the hell?
It's Lieutenant Matthews.
Yeah. It's Harry. Harry's been alive this whole time.
Oh my god.
Actually, it kind of makes sense actually, a little bit.
No.
He's the right age. He wanted to kill. It would
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off. I just thought that was funny.
But yeah. Anyway, Lowell, Mia, Gareth, you're losing all your friends, is what Harry tells Dexter. Now Al is the only one left. I like how Dexter was going through deleting all the contacts and everything like that. He sets up the meeting with them. We get to see Dexter go prepare the kill room, again tying into the title of the episode. I love seeing him in his element. Every time Dexter does a Dexter thing, I will eat it up until the end of time. Wrapping the store in plastic, it's a wig shop, which is perfect for Rapunzel. He's like, I don't have time to go get all the photos, but he's gonna know why he's here. I also loved the little reference. He's putting things up, and he's basically like, "Oh shoot!" Like he's like, "Oh, I'm carrying this whole thing on my," and then he trails off, and he's like, "Obviously, it's the shoulder." But I think again, that's fun.
Yeah.
I think this episode just had some really good one-liners, some really good, just little quips and just intelligent little dialogue. I think they did a really good job with that. But Batista, again, continuing his investigation. When he was walking on the street, recording those voice memos, tracking, his AirPods, tracking his tracer, again, very much so Lundy vibes. And we all know what happened to Lundy when he got too close to the serial killer that he was investigating. But like every single moment this episode, I was like, dude, just leave it be. Leave it be. But then that kind of takes us over to the Harrison side of things, right? So Harrison is at the park with Elsa and Elsa's son. They're talking about everything with the landlord, and then that sets up kind of what seems like the B plot of the episode, which eventually becomes the A plot. So Dexter and Harrison end up having a conversation. They sit down to eat, and he tells him the most unrealistic part of the show so far is that Angel's AirPods didn't die. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh no, also did you notice it didn't say Angel's AirPods this week. I would have to go back to the previous episode. It said Angel's AirPod, not Angel's AirPods. Which was interesting. I don't know. That's just, So anyway, the conversation between Dexter and Harrison brings up everything with the landlord. Harrison's feeling very guilty about what's going on. He thinks that his confrontation is the reason why he's going down this path. And not fixing the mold issue, not fixing, everything that's going on. And Dexter's like, hey, let me take care of it. Like, no, he doesn't fit the code, but I'll look into it. I'll help you out with this. And this is all the while he is investigating Al, trying to get him set up to go on his table. But he waits outside of Hamilton. Hamilton lets out. Al doesn't come out. And he calls him. He's like, hey, dude, what's going on? And Al ended up skipping out early because he didn't like the rap portions of Hamilton, which is the most hilarious thing ever. But we discussed this last week. Al was either going to die or get away.
I'm happy that one got away.
Happened, yes. I think that was kind of what we thought was going to happen. I kind of thought it was originally going to be Gemini that got away because he seemed like the smartest out of all of them. But I think it kind of makes sense. Is the one that you would least expect. I think Al or Rapunzel seemed like the least threatening out of all of them, which is kind of why Dexter left him for the end. and he somehow underestimated him, right?
Yeah.
Is
He
Al
got
ended
away.
up slipping through his fingers, and this set Dexter off. Like, he
Yeah.
spiraled throughout the rest of the episode
Yeah.
after Al got away. And I love the reference that Harry made too. He was like,
Hangry.
is this your version of hangry? It's like
Yeah.
Dexter can't feed his dark passenger now.
Yeah.
Um
I do think that's interesting, and I think again leaving one out there is very realistic. Like if he would have got
Yeah.
all of them, I'd be like, all right. And this leaves him open to return.
Dexter
Like I
soul
hope
is
it's not.
all.
I hope it's not the season. I don't want them touching Al
No,
this season.
no. I think that's a season 2, maybe a season 2 threat, maybe even a season 3 threat.
I like the idea. Maybe he's a main villain. Like I'm really liking these ideas that we are now setting up our big bads for future seasons. Like make this be a character that we're enjoying, we're liking.
Yeah. I would
and-
say maybe we get a little glimpse of him, like say whatever happens at the end of the season happens, and then he gets like a little, like sees a little news report, right? Like Prater's dead, or New York Ripper caught, or Bay Harbor Butcher is back, or whatever, and he's like, oh shoot, that's
and
who
then goes
Red
after
was.
Dexter. Yeah, then goes after
Yeah.
Dexter in like season 3. Like if season 2 is the like New York Ripper, which I assume it will be.
Yeah.
Then season 3 is like Al or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. I don't think it is. Just throwing it out there. No way Al's the New York Ripper, right? There's no way that's possible, right?
No.
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 Okay.
No. He's going back to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Going back to
yeah, but like
he's going back to his cheese, and he's going back to
Yes.
so he's got some business to attend to. Let's just
but
say.
just to play devil's advocate, like the New York Ripper's been inactive for a couple years. Like maybe I don't know. Just kind of throwing it out there as like a hypothetical, but it like seems unlikely. But I was like, is there a sliver of that? I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. In the moment, I was like, oh, I don't necessarily like that he got away. Like, this seems kind of contrived. Like, Dexter definitely, again, let that one slip by. It is totally his fault that he didn't kill Al. Like, he had so many opportunities to have done so previously.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those, again, that is going to come back to bite him in the end, right? Al is going to be a threat for him later on. And I think he's kind of underestimated him in the very same way that he's underestimated Angel all season as well. And we're seeing that build and build and build and build before we get to the climax of that, though. Take a little bit of a step back. Dexter gets some more acupuncture from Blessing's daughter. Yeah. He's all relaxed on the table. Once again, Dexter lying on a table. Very funny, very poetic. But he talks to her about, she's asking him about his about Blessing, her father, and everything like that, and whether it's right for him to be so protective of her and want her not to leave and that sort of thing. And she's like, "Oh, you wouldn't do that to your son, would you?" And Dexter's like, "Oh no, I'm not always watching him, even though he kind of is." But then he lets slip the backstory that Blessing told Dexter in the previous couple episodes. And this kind of sets her off. She freaks out. She's like, "Oh my God, my father's not who I thought he was." And she storms out.
Yeah.
And let's just, cover all of this all at once, right?
Yes.
Later on, Blessing is coming to talk to Dexter while Dexter's actually using his wife as a tool to get some information on how he can, combat the landlord and everything. But he's like, "Dexter, we need to talk."
Yes.
And this broke my heart. He said, "Dexter, you betrayed me." And again, this feeds into my theory, though, is Blessing is becoming more and more unhinged. He is looking like he could do anything at any time. How would you feel if your son knew you had killed a person?
Yes.
More than one person.
Like in this scene, I was like, damn, he's getting more evidence on his side. He's getting more fuel for his him being the New York Ripper, because it would make sense. He's telling his daughter kind of hints and trails to maybe his past as a killer. That makes him closer. That makes him subconscious and scared that they're going to figure out the rest of it. I am still standing by that it's a misdirect. I'm still standing by that that's not what we're doing here. Mainly because I said it at the start that it wasn't going to happen, and I have to stand by my stance. I'm nothing if I'm not loyal to my stupid stances. But now it's becoming like a little too obvious to me. It's like, oh yeah, that like it feels
the
like
guy
that's what
that
they
seemed
wanted.
like he was calm, cool, collected, like Dexter's best friend.
Seems too
No.
easy. It seems too obvious of a theory.
Dude,
But
I don't.
maybe that's just us because I've been watching the like blind wave reactions and they haven't mentioned this once. Like it is nowhere in their mind that it could possibly
Again,
be
we're
them.
crazy tinfoil
Yeah.
hat theorists. We're literally sitting here talking about a 45-minute episode for 1 hour plus every single week, dissecting every single frame,
Yeah. So
and
maybe we're
say, maybe we're the crazy ones. Maybe we're looking a little bit like Batista did this week. I think that's a fun parallel, right? Is we are acting exactly like Batista is like, oh no, Blessing's the Ripper. Oh no, Jonah's the Ripper. Oh no, Detective Olivier's the Ripper. All this craziness, right? But if there was going to be one character that we've seen so far that is constantly getting teased that he could be the Ripper, it is Blessing. Like it's becoming more and more a possibility and more realistic every single episode, and we still haven't gotten our little scene that we've got now. We've got 2 episodes left. Where's Blessing's sword? Where's the sword, man? But again, I'm gonna die on the hill. I'm going to plant my feet firmly in that theory. I think that he is the Ripper, and I think we're gonna get that revealed to us within the next couple of episodes.
I think you are correct. I do think you're correct, but I'm staying in my lane. So if it's not, I can celebrate in it. I like the 1 in a million chance where I'm like, I was fucking right. Let's go. which I am also staying in with the Angel. I am committed that by next week, by episode 10, he will still be alive.
Okay. How about this? If Batista dies, do you have to wear a Batista hat for an entire stream?
I would do that for free, but okay.
Okay. And if if Blessing is the New York Ripper, then I expect a public apology. No, I'm kidding.
We'll find something. Get a pizza party.
Yeah.
But no, I think they have to be smarter than that. I think killing them off is a bit lazy, if I'm being honest, because I think that's the easy way out. I think that's the way everyone thinks is going to happen, and I think the writers know it.
I know,
right?
But
Because
he's going down the Lundy path, though. He's getting too close. He's going down the Lundy path.
I think it's so much more fascinating if Dexter has to find another way, because this week tells me.
I was literally gonna say that. So that perfect segue, right? So Dexter is again trying to feed his dark passenger. He's having his fun back and forth with Harry. Is this your version of hangry? Look at you, Dexter, losing all your friends. Yeah. Like, is Blessing gonna be a problem? You're seeming more upset than usual, and he's just like finally, go away, Dad. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? Like, I don't need this. I don't need to be, sit here and have you lecture me, which is funny to say is I don't need to be lecturing myself is basically what he's saying at that point, right? So he tries to still satiate his hunger for the kill, feed his dark passenger, and he goes after Vinny, the landlord. Not my cousin Vinny, but Vinny, the landlord.
That was unexpected, but I appreciated it.
I kind of saw it coming at as it was brought up in the episode. I was like, oh, he's already got the kill room set up. Al is not going to be on the table. Okay, it's going to be Vinny. But I was like, is he going to let Harrison do it? Is Dexter going to do it himself? But they actually went the interesting third way out, which is that Dexter actually does not kill him. And I think it goes a long way to showing Dexter, it shows Harrison, it shows the audience, it shows Batista that killing is not always the way in which the Butcher does it. And I think it was a fun callback to New Blood as well, because remember when Dexter was telling the story about the clown to Harrison originally, and then Harrison was like, oh, and you let him go, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I let him go. But this time he
Yeah.
actually let him go, and this was the right call to make
Yeah.
because by scaring the landlord, he then helps Harrison, he helps Elsa, he helps all of the tenants in the building. Day
Yes.
saved, Dexter is the hero.
Yeah.
He then also feeds the theory that he gave to Detective Wallace
Yeah.
previously that Batista
It's
is
going
crazy for
crazy.
Cocoa Puffs and has gone off the deep end and has become just kind of insane in his old age. I liked how Detective Wallace was doing her own research throughout the episode.
Yeah.
We see her investigating the Bay Harbor Butcher case as well. We get some great references to the original series. We get some references to Original Sin. We see, Captain Spencer from Original Sin.
That was nice.
Again, makes me sad that we're not getting that show back. But we have Wallace doing the investigation and Batista doing his own investigation. He finds the wig store, the wig shop, just in the nick of time. He gets in there. Dexter's already done what he needs to do. He lets Vinny go. He runs out of the building. Batista is frazzled and bamboozled as far as what the heck just went on. Frantically calls Detective Wallace. Wallace and Olivier get down there, and Batista just starts rambling. He starts yapping. He's like, Dexter this, Dexter that, Bay Harbor Butcher. He's still active. Like, he was going to kill the guy.
All
Which
over
guy?
again.
Which guy? Did you were following him? Do you have a warrant? Like,
Yep.
where's the body? Did you set up the plastic? Did you let the guy go? Did you get a description? Did you question him? Where's the chain of custody? What is going on here, Batista? Like, you're sounding crazy. And all of this to be said that it makes Batista seem nuts. It makes him seem insane. It makes him seem like he's got a tinfoil hat theory. He's got Blessing is the New York Ripper theory that he's trying to spin to Wallace. And then Wallace again continues her investigation. She goes straight to the source. She calls Miami Metro and asks to speak to the lieutenant in charge. Hey, Lieutenant Joey Quinn. It's me, Joey freaking Quinn. That was great. I loved it, dude.
It was very nice.
I loved seeing Miami. I loved seeing Quinn. We got confirmation that he's got his promotion. LT Quinn, it looks good on him. And Wallace calls and is like, hey, I've got a question about the Bay Harbor Butcher case.
Yeah.
The what? I'm sorry, is your phone not working? Oh, no, it's working perfectly fine. Did you say the Bay Harbor Butcher? Yeah. Batista's down in New York investigating it, and then Quinn just gets the eye roll. Like, what is this old man doing? He just retired. Why is he investigating this? We've been down this road before, and something that I basically talked over immediately when the episode ended is Quinn, once again, I think is in Dexter's corner, right? Quinn has gone down this path before. He investigated with Liddy, right?
Yeah.
Back in the original series. He, made all of those remarks to Dexter. Oh, a little warm for gloves out there, isn't it? Like, he's gone down that path.
Yeah.
But eventually, him and Dexter kind of reached an understanding, which obviously leads to it was obviously self-defense in the season, or the series finale, or the original series finale.
Which
I think
like puts him in a very interesting spot if
it does.
If he does die in next week's episode, because then he has to like ruminate about like, okay, how do I feel?
Shoot, maybe I could have prevented this.
Because we've never seen, I guess we kind of had it with Miguel in season 3, but like someone finding out that's a part of the law system that kind of agrees with what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've never seen it that POV.
I mean, Deb kind of
Deb,
to that by the end.
Yeah.
I mean, Deb Deb wanted Dexter to kill Hannah. Like, come on.
It took her a while.
It took her a minute.
Yeah, I'm curious, and like that was the final nail in the coffin. Like, that's what I think fucked him in this entire thing. If he was still in charge, if he was still doing his thing, but he lied to them, which in that case, all this goes out in court, right? Like he could take all this stuff, but you didn't have a warrant, you didn't have permission to do any of this. Like, if you were still an active police, an active what is it?
Yeah.
Sergeant?
No,
Or,
he's a captain, and yeah, that you're right.
captain.
That's the other big element too. Is like, oh no, like Batista retired a couple weeks ago. Like
Yes.
and Detective
That
Wallace is like,
fucks
he's
him.
no longer with law enforcement. No,
Well, now,
he's
I mean, now
retired.
they could arrest him for
They can
impersonating
arrest
one.
him for
Yeah.
impersonating an officer,
Yeah.
tampering with an investigation, as well as falsely accusing someone
Yes.
as well, which is so
Do you think that's where
interesting.
we end it?
Like what if
Him in prison instead of him dead?
Oh no, I don't know. That'd be interesting. But like, I just think it's so crazy that Dexter is so good at worming his way out of things
Mhm.
and
Without trying.
just gaslighting everybody in his life into thinking that he is, not the butcher.
Which I think this is all kind of subscribing to the theory that we crafted up next week with him kind of working with her going into next season. Like after all of this, she's like, "Oh, he was crazy this whole time, but you're a genius.
Yeah.
Come work for me. Come help me on this case."
And that would be so great is Dexter working for the NYPD while Harrison is in school trying to become a cop. I loved the sentiment at the end or towards the end as well when Dexter and Harrison are kind of sitting there discussing everything that went down. And Harrison makes that reference like, yeah, there is another way, right? Like everything does not have to end in sheets of plastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dexter did leave a present wrapped in plastic for Batista.
Yeah.
But there's another way, right? Like Dexter doesn't always have to kill the bad guy. And sometimes showing that restraint is more powerful than the kill itself. And I think if Dexter can learn to find that satisfaction that he finds in the kill from his son being proud of him, or from saving a life, or preventing the destruction of other lives, maybe that's where we're progressing to. I think Harry had a funny thing too, is like, how are you going to get out of the situation with Batista? He's like, are you going to just stop killing? Or like you could just stop killing. And Dexter was like,
no.
Absolutely not. Like, no, what do you think? Like, what am I going to do? Stop breathing? No.
He's tried. He's tried before.
He's tried and failed multiple times in the past. But I just, dude, so this is all coming together. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's again backtrack a little bit to the Harrison storyline of the episode as well. The other Harrison storyline. Harrison and Gigi go out. They go clubbing. They go partying. They talk about the police academy. She's, making some jokes. He's like, oh, there's, so much more to, law enforcement than being a detective. My father was a blood spatter analyst. He helped so many people, and he didn't have to be a cop. So you don't have to either. And I think, that's maybe was less for her and maybe more for him. I think maybe Harrison, while he might be going into it wanting to be a cop, in a way, I think maybe he might be a better fit for blood spatter analysis or something else, right? Maybe he really does truly follow in his father's footsteps like that, but he's going to school for it. And then I guess that brings us to the other big thing of it. What do you think with all of the, I guess the big thing that Harrison did this episode?
Well, I mean, I want to first off state by saying my man. He takes after his dad.
Yeah, well, dude, I saw a thing on Instagram right before we started. Is like no DNA test required. Harrison, Harrison with a blonde girl just like Dexter,
like a broken blonde girl. Yeah, I thought that was funny. But like the more I think about it, the more I'm almost feeling very convinced about this theory about it being a plant, because it's all so perfect. This right as soon as he kind of breaks it off with Elisa, right? As soon as that happens, this Elsa, this magic, beautiful, hot girl comes into his life at the exact moment that she's going to be at, and they hit it off instantly. She says all the right things. She relates perfectly to what he is going through, and they
Mm-hmm.
hook up, and he's the happiest he's ever been. And
Yeah,
as much
dude,
as
I think this was the first time Harrison's really truly smiled in a
and
while.
it is all too perfect. Well, there's
It's
also
too
this
good.
like other girl where he doesn't quite know if it's going to completely work. Like
Yeah,
it's all
too good to be
too
true.
perfect and coming in at the right time. I think a couple episodes back when people start to disappear, Prater's like, okay, I'm going to do my own research. I'm going to see what's going on. He looks into it. He finds, and I guess in this series I have to throw away that he's known this whole time, kind of thing. I have to throw that in in the garbage. But he's doing
Yeah,
his research. He's like, oh, Dexter Morgan. Okay, I need to learn more about you.
yeah.
So then either hires or some a niece or whatever kind of
Maybe
hires her.
Charlie's daughter potentially, because she was standing outside the restaurant, smirking and smiling and laughing like she had some sort of part to play in
Could
this.
be, but then they have that huge fight about it. I think if they were in on this together, they wouldn't have had
You're
that fight.
right.
You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
Like I
You're
think
right. You're right. No, you're right.
I don't know if that works completely, but like he hires them and they get close to her, and then like she has a look when he's like talking about like his dad and like how proud of him and what he does, and I
Mm.
think in that moment
And
she's
he
like, "Fuck, fuck, fuck, fuck." You know what I mean? Like I think at this point, I think that's the point she starts falling for him, where she's like,
mm-hmm.
"Oh damn, this kid is good. His dad is probably good. I'm horrible," but she still
Mm-hmm.
commits to it anyway. She still
Commit
does
to the
it,
bit.
and then in the elevator, I think she's like fully falling in love with him at this moment. And I
Yeah.
think internally she's like, "Fuck, what do I do? I actually like this boy. Oh my god!" And that's why he shows up at the thing. He finally shows up to himself, like, "Oh, you have a son. Interesting." Like after learning some intel. And
Yeah.
again, I don't know how much Harrison has told her. We're not sure. It seems like all surface level, but maybe just enough to piece stuff together for something. Which I think maybe could be the cliffhanger for next week, or like one of the cliffhangers of next week's episode.
Yeah. But it was enough that the end of the episode we get again another parallel to the original Dexter series is we got Prater walking into the restaurant where Dexter is sitting down having a meal with his son. He walks in and he's like, "Hello, Red. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
you had a son." In the very same vein of, "Hello, Dexter
Dexter
Morgan."
Morgan, yeah.
So here we go, dude. We're in the home stretch now. Final two episodes. Touched by an Angel,
Mhm.
episode 9, and then I actually don't know the
Yeah,
title of episode 10. I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to
yeah.
know the title for episode 10 yet. I'm probably gonna crack and watch the trailer for episode 9
Coming, yeah.
pretty soon here. But overall, that setup there, I think everything, no pun intended, is going to be out on the table come next week's episode. Angel is going to make his final push to try and expose Dexter for who he truly is. I think Wallace is going to have to make the decision of, is Batista truly insane or is he onto something? Dexter's going to try to salvage his relationship with Prater, but might, end up having to just come clean with who he is, what he's done in order to protect his son. And I do think that you are
Yes.
right. I think there's going to be some sort of rug pull moment where Harrison learns that Gigi was working for Prater the whole time. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, it started out as, a job, but, what we had is real," and
Yeah.
all of that kind of thing.
Very
And,
classic
yeah,
tropey.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a possibility maybe she doesn't make it out of the season either. I think, that might be
Oh, you think he
another,
kills her?
maybe,
Oh,
maybe Prater
I
kills her or Charlie ends up killing her or something like that. I think she gets caught in the crossfire somehow, and maybe that's some motivation for Harrison next season.
Oh well,
And
I mean, I was almost thinking Harrison kills her.
oh
Like,
no,
he
no,
is so mad in the moment. Like we've seen what happens when his anger takes over. You know what I mean? Like he's so angry for being.
no, because then that would
You don't think
totally
so?
undermine. I think that would totally
Okay.
undermine his arc, right? His arc
Okay.
was going from, I killed a bad guy because he was gonna do a bad
Okay.
thing, to, I can be better and do things the right way, do it by the book. And I'm
Yeah.
convincing my dad to do things the right way
Mhm.
and to do things by the book. And having him kill an innocent person,
Okay.
then
Yeah.
then he then fits
Yeah.
Dexter's code at that point, right?
But then, and I don't really want this, I'm just like playing devil's advocate. Then we have an interesting place where Dexter's getting better and Harry's getting worse, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's improving because of his son, and then his son crossed the line. He's like, "Fuck! Oh my god, no, no, no!" You know what I mean? But I feel like maybe there's a dynamic there. But I would agree. I wouldn't be very unlikable character if then. But then you would have an interesting thing where like my son fits the code, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, no, what do I can't kill my own son. You know what I mean?
No.
But I know we have to get out of here soon. I need to get you have stuff to do. I have one final thing I want to say until next week. And again, I don't subscribe to this because I'm on the other side of it. But let's pretend I am subscribing to the Batista's gonna die next week.
Yeah.
Could it be Prater? Could Prater be the one to kill him because he's trying to sponsor Dexter? He wants to support what he's doing. Is it going to come out? I know it was you, Dexter.
Maybe.
I know what you've done. And I want to support you in this. And
like
someone
that
tries
too.
to get in the way. Maybe Batista crosses the line. He's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna take care of this myself," or something.
And maybe he uses it as like a show of good faith, right? Hey, Dexter. Hey, Dexter. Yeah. I know what you did. I know that you impersonated Red. Yeah. I know you took out the other members of my serial killer fan club.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad about it. I'm actually impressed by it. I know that you're dealing with a little bit of an issue. I am a big fan. It's fine. It's great to finally officially meet the Bay Harbor Butcher himself.
Yes.
I know you're being investigated by one of your old colleagues, so I had Charlie take care of that for you. You know, and then that's maybe what sets Dexter off, as in like that's how Prater ends up on the table, or something. You know?
Yeah. That's the finale.
Would be. Yeah, like I know I had that theory that Harrison is the one that ends up killing Batista.
I think I like this version better.
I think that this preserves Harrison's integrity
and Dexter's as well.
Yes,
it leaves Dexter on the side of Batista of like, I know he was after me, but he was a good man. He was a good man.
He was a good man. He didn't deserve this. All of that, and then it gives Dexter that motivation going into the finale. Like, Prater must die. Yes. Is I thought that I was just killing the other killers, but Prater is just as bad because he's an enabler, and he is bringing these kinds of people together, and I can never allow a gathering like this to ever happen again.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel that might be pretty spot on. Again, I don't want it to happen, but I feel like the Gigi theory and this theory kind of combined. I could see.
Yeah, dude. I think you're on fire. I think two really good theories this week. I think that you are very much so on the right track with a lot of those. I think hopefully I'm on the right track with the whole Prater situation, with the whole Ripper. New York Ripper. And then, dude, this might be. So I told you at the beginning of the season, and this is my last thing. I had shirts for every single episode, and the one that I've been saving is I have like a Hawaiian shirt like Batista would be wearing, and I'm saving it specifically for next week. So it's going to be great to kind of break that out of the package and wear it, and hopefully I am not wearing it to Batista's funeral. Hopefully I am not wearing it to Batista's funeral, but it seems like we're heading there.
I'll check on Amazon, see if I can find something to bring in the. Let's hope not his funeral. Let's hope it's his wedding or.
Yeah, but I've got the shirt. You get the hat, and we'll we've got some good.
We'll put it inside the thumbnail of us wearing it. Yeah. Okay, this is our cutoff point. We have to get out of here. I know we got to get out of here. I'm going to speed run the hell out of these last couple comments. Ben 10 Live when October. I think after this episode, Dexter could potentially get a restraining order against Angel, which will temporarily stop his investigation. I could see it. If he doesn't die, I could see it. Angel really showed off the Miami Metro 20% homicide solve rate.
Oh God, you're right. I thought about that. He then just like fell right back into the old ways.
Yeah. I think Quinn would definitely be suspicious of Dexter since he faked his death for years. I think they would at least have to have a conversation about, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Angel flew too close to the sun. He sure did. I think you're right, Taz. Dexter's line about people changing versus being killed this episode also suggests Dexter might stop seeing killing as the only solution.
Mhm.
That'd be cool. That'd be a cool
It's not the only way.
evolution
Yeah.
of his character. And
Again,
and
he's trying to be
further,
better for his son. That's the only reason he could
yes,
truly go down
Dexter's
a path like that.
resurrection. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which we were kind of there at the end of season 8. Like he was kind of at a point where like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore, and then we kind of
and then Deb died, and
Yeah.
then it all fell off the boat and into a hurricane.
Agreed. So with that being said, we'll be back next week for more.
Yes.
Taz, where can people find you? Are you working on anything you want to shout out, promo?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. YouTube.com/ToxicTaz. Be on the lookout for those Dexter reviews coming sometime this year.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
After the credits next Monday, it will be more of what we talked about today. It will be Alien Earth. It will be Peacemaker episode 2. It will be the penultimate episode of Dexter Resurrection. Maybe a funeral, may not. We might have another returning guest next week and the week prior. We shall see. We'll see what happens. And then Pipeline this Thursday. Running Unchained is back. We are continuing our MCU retrospective with Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers Age of Ultron. 2 very big MCU movies, so that is going to be a lot of fun. Check out any other stuff I have going. All the other shows I'm on. Ranger Nation's been fun. The new Superman show we're doing is fun. Nerdcast, all the stuff that I'm a part of. Go support all of that. And yeah, I will see you folks on the flip side.